All right, let's start it off. 3 mana, double threshold of wind, a midsummer night's dream. A unique aura. Mortals are disabled and each give +1 power to all fairies here. Disable if there are no fairies here. Mortals here are disabled and each gives one
Yeah.
power. So
So
is
each
it
mortal, yeah, each
each
mortal will
mortal?
give +1 power to each fairy. And then if there's no fairies there, the aura will disappear.
This feels a little difficult because it's an aura. It Since we're in Arthurian Legends and there's going to be mortals out the ass, it makes sense that it's here. I
Hmm.
just like want this card is just going to get worse as time goes on and we move away from mortals and we get different archetypes and shit.
Well, maybe, but forever and ever and ever and ever, any good mortal is nothing when it's there, and it's a unique. So you get that one-off shot, and then for people like Enchantress, it just gives all of your fairies +1.
True, with the Janisters, you could also move this around.
Yeah,
One of the
yeah,
things I was also worried about is the limiting factor of only it taking up 4 squares.
yeah. Giving fairies the ability to move and still be strong is really good.
Yeah, this it seems like it could be well when it hits the right circumstances. It probably could be a game changer, but
Oh yeah, if you're playing Knights and I play Midsummer Night's Dream, your game's over.
yeah, for real. It's a good thing that I find people in games in general lame. So I'll probably never make a mortal deck. That's why I don't play White and Magic. That's why I don't play Terran and StarCraft.
Hey, calm down with the humans there. All right.
I just I just don't like them, you know.
I remember I seem to recall one game out of like 80 where I got you on the back ropes for 5 seconds.
For 5 seconds,
Stupid Zerglings.
dude. I love StarCraft. If you want to go for the
All right,
next one,
so Arc Lightning, 2 threshold 4 cost. Ordinary magic of Focused Foundation. Fulmination. Deals 4 damage to a target nearby unit. Um, Not sure how I feel about this. It's four mana for 4 damage. Um, I don't know why you wouldn't just play Lightning Bolt.
right?
But I guess in that same tone, it is the Lightning Bolts 4 through 8.
Yeah, if it like yeah, you're always going to end up with
4 through 8.
more mana unless you, I guess, your strategy is just to go all in. So I don't know. It's ordinary as well, so you could rock 4 of them and they could come in clutch.
Yeah, I mean it is nearby too,
Yeah,
so
it is
your
limited a
avatar has
bit.
to be next to it, or you have to have a spellcaster next to it, or something
Mhm.
like that. So that is a little limiting.
Yeah,
Um, and I think if I recall correctly, Lightning Bolt is just anywhere,
I think
like
so.
random anywhere. So I
Probably.
think it could be decent. I
Yeah.
don't think I don't
Th-
think it's anything to write home about.
this just feels like something that would be inevitable to come into the game. Essentially, it's like a vanilla card. Just makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Up next, we got X, so we know we're gonna be able to pump this bitch. Arcane Barrage for 3 wind threshold, a fierce fury of elite magic. Shoot X projectiles in the same direction, one at a time. Each deals 1 damage. So you can pump it as much as you want, with depending on how much mana you have.
Yeah, yeah. The first thing that comes to mind is a game ender where you're just shooting at your opponent, like to get everything out of the way. So like if your if your avatar's on death's door and you have like 4 minions in front, I could see it literally just like dumping all of the mana to deal 12 damage to everything in front to deal the
Just
1 damage to
fucking
you.
machine gun your opponent down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's definitely not bad. And if you needed it in a pinch, it doesn't have like a lower requirement. You could use only 4 mana and still blast something decently large, and 6 mana is not exactly hard to get to either, so it could kill bigger creatures as well.
Yeah, it does. It does actually help with that a lot.
I think it's a pretty alright card.
So I have a question though. Does the spellcaster deal the damage, or does the spell deal the damage?
Hmm.
Because if the spellcaster has lethal, this card's a lot better.
Yeah,
And
that would be gross, actually.
if the spellcaster has lethal, and in this the spellcaster is dealing the damage instead of the spell. So that's a question I should probably ask in the rules. Maybe confuse some more
Yeah,
people.
that way you could also use like Arcane Missile and stuff with this as well, and Arcane Missile would pop off. And Firebolt would also be pretty dangerous as well.
Yeah. Well, I know that. So I know. What is it? Poison Nova.
Yeah,
It has lethal.
right.
So maybe it is the spell dealing the damage.
That's possible. That would make sense considering it reads that way.
Yeah. I think it's a good card. I think it's gonna be played. Um.
For sure. It's versatile, and that's what I think makes it the best part about it is that
Yeah.
it can do anything.
The only thing holding it back is its threshold.
Yeah.
So 3 attack by night. Single threshold. What is this? Exceptional. 3 cost. Enemies drop their artifacts and allied units strike first this turn. This card, at first glance, is a good combat trick. So I could see this in something like the mortal decks, where you want to keep all your mortals alive. So you can make them drop their screaming skulls and their uh, philosopher stones and all that cool stuff.
Yeah.
But in a deck where you want to swing and you want to attack and your units need to hit first so they don't die, I think this is a fine card.
Yeah, I think like this is the allied unit strike first. If it didn't even have enemies drop artifacts, I would still think this card was pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, I would agree. I think enemies drop their artifacts is just a way to keep lances from doing anything, or people dropping Excalibur so they actually take the damage.
True. That's actually a good point with so many things having lance on them. This would just disable everyone that had one.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. All right, moving on. Ball of Lightning, 5 mana, 2 threshold required. It's an elite magic. Shoot a projectile. It does 4 damage on impact, then changes direction. Its next impact does 2, then changes direction again, and the final impact does 1. I think that's fun.
Yeah, I think it could be fun. Do you get to choose which direction it goes?
I would assume so.
So it can't go in a straight line, which is of note.
Right.
I'm gonna shoot it sideways, and then it's gonna end up next to me.
Yeah, I like that. I think it might not be practical all the time, but at the same time, if someone doesn't know that it's in your deck, it's not like they're going to be paying attention to it, and it travels as far as it needs to. This kind of just reminds me of like Vel'Koz Q.
Yeah. Well, actually, I didn't even realize you know what? It's actually a lot better than I thought it was. Because you're right. It doesn't stop at one spot. So like it doesn't hit, then go one space, and then go one space, and then go one space. It hits, goes where it goes until it hits something, and then goes until it hits something.
Yeah, this is a fun card. I like that card.
Yeah, I think it's better than I thought it was at first glance. Band of Thieves. Ordinary stealth for 3 mana, 3 power, 2 win threshold. This card is fine.
Yeah, it's fine.
It's fine. It's an ordinary 3/3 that you can't look at till it hits you.
Yeah, I think that's basically vanilla for this game.
It's gonna slap you in the face, and you're gonna take it.
I'm pretty sure we already talked about Blue Knight.
We did.
So, I'll go ahead and jump over to Cast into Exile. Can't wait to read this one. 2 mana, double threshold, exceptional magic. Shovel target minion occupying an allied site into its owner's spellbook.
Hell yeah.
We're playing blue
Removal.
for 2 mana too, and
Yeah.
it does not say. The only caveat is that it's an allied site.
Hell yeah.
So I think that's pretty all right. I like bouncing shit to people and getting rid of stuff, especially if they casted something huge.
Yeah, it puts it back in your deck.
Yeah, that's pretty wild.
And it doesn't even have to be your opponent's stuff. So, like, again, we're going to talk about this again. And I'll probably bring this up a lot today. Lady of the Lake.
Yeah.
If I don't get to use the ability of Lady of the Lake, I'm shuffling her back in just so I can use her ability later.
Yeah, that's I dig this card. That's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that card. It's actually in the deck that I built.
Oh yeah.
Because I don't want to deal with your berries and your submerges, because most of the stuff that you play has submerge or burrow.
Yeah, man. That's the only way. For me, I was just like, how do you get around people's kill spells? And I'm like, everyone loves Earth. If they can't burrow me, they can't kill me.
Yeah, well, this one doesn't care about that.
It sure
says,
doesn't.
"Get off my board."
Get off my
Yeah.
lot.
I don't know you, and that's my purse. All right, so Castle Haunt. 3 mana. It has 1 threshold. It is 4 power, so it's already above stat. Maybe cast to any elite or unique site. Dies if it leaves its summoning site. So, I think this is really good.
I think, yeah, like, this is something that has to be dealt with if you cast it
Yeah.
immediately.
Yeah.
And it can come out pretty darn early.
You play Roots of Yggdrasil, I'm gonna beat your face in on your Roots of Yggdrasil.
Yeah.
Yeah. You play Camelot, I'm gonna beat your face in on Camelot.
Yeah, and everyone's going to be rocking an elite or unique site. There's no doubt. No one's just going to have a...
The red spellcaster site, it's gonna be haunted.
Sure is.
I think this is a fine card. This is a good card.
Yeah, this is something you would just want, really, because of its stats alone.
Oh, yeah, it's so splashable, too.
True. It only needs 1. All right, next up, this is just the same thing, except it's not a family. They're servants this time. I don't know why they made that choice for wind, but they did. Just provides a threshold, which to me is you can find ways for this to be useful, for sure.
Yeah, and with it not requiring a threshold as well, it's one of those fixing things that doesn't require a whole lot.
Yep, we already talked about Dame, so I guess we'll jump to Crows.
Feast for Crows. Unique. 3 mana and 2 threshold. Name a spell. Search an opponent's hand, spellbook, and cemetery for cards with that name and banish them. Then they shuffle their spellbook. Have you ever heard of Extirpate? Have you ever heard of anything in any game that takes cards away from your opponent that they want to win with?
Is your opponent playing a meta deck and you know the main piece of that deck?
Have you or someone you know been affected by cards that take things from you?
This is that card.
Yeah, this is a very good card. It is unique. I think it's very good.
I was actually talking to Too Fluent and Louis' opening, and he loves wolves. And those are the ones that you can. I think you can play any amount of them, right?
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
So this card literally just murders that deck on its own.
Oh, they feasting.
They sure are feasting. All right, up next, Fine Courser. 2 mana, 1 win threshold, only 1 attack, but it does have charge, +1 movement, and it can carry an ally. I think attacking wise, you don't really want it, but since it has charge and +1 movement, you get something you want to swing on the board. You play this right next to it, either next turn, and you carry that motherfucker. So this would be good with Dame, right?
Oh yeah.
You put it next to it, launch him forward 2 spaces, and then Dame gets to smack a land and revive something. So this
Yeah.
has definite possibilities.
I think it does have definite playability. It isn't exceptional, so that does limit what it can do, but or the number that you can have. But it is a good card. I agree with you completely. And it doesn't even care that the ally that it's carrying is also on a horse.
Yeah. Why not, you know?
Put that horse in a saddlebag and then
Fucking double up.
she's got 2 horsepower. What is that? Hider sprites? Hitter sprites? Hider sprites?
Hider, I guess, is what I would say.
Bro, they're ripped.
They sure are. They are fucking jacked.
2 cost, 2 threshold, 2 power. Genesis, name a spell. Spells with that name can't be cast until your next turn. This is situational, but it is ordinary, and I think that in the right hands, if you know what your opponent is playing, kind of like Feast for Crows, if you know what they're playing, you're gonna stop them pretty well.
That if your opponent has Berry in hand or something, there are ways to get a look at your enemy's hand, and it definitely is situational. But if that situation arises, you can postpone things from happening and possibly get another hit in or whatever you're trying to get a hold of.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's decent if you like you have to know the information.
Yeah.
And you have to build your deck based around knowing that information.
Pro player card right here.
You think so?
Maybe. Like, that's the only, like, if someone was new to the game, they would never be able to use this, basically.
I mean, Barry's a pretty common card,
It sure is.
but I don't know if I would put 4 cards in my deck just because I don't want my opponent playing Barry for 4 turns.
True. I'd just rather have berries and hit you back with it.
Yeah, I would rather just use the card.
All right. Kneeling. Is that kneeling? Keening? Keening?
Yeah.
Keening Banshee, 4 mana, 3 cost, 2 threshold. It's an ordinary spirit. May be cast for 0 if your allied mortal died this turn. Yes. If foot soldier anything, yes. Especially since you get to just straight up summon foot soldiers with villages.
Yeah.
This is very playable, very easily able to get that 0 cost.
It's also ordinary.
So you can have 4, and I mean, like, with Dame in the deck or anything like that, you could hit a site, revive something, Dame dies, or like have something die, summon this, use Dame, revive it back anyway. You got 2 creatures. Like, this card is kind of nutty.
Too.
Yeah. I like that card.
So historically, anything free is good.
Yeah.
And this card is no exception to that rule. It has a decent power.
Yeah.
So I don't. Do you still have to have the threshold to play it for 0?
Yeah, you would. I'm assuming you would still need threshold.
Yeah, so that's still pretty good.
Yeah, I like the card. This is something I would definitely have in one of my decks.
King Arthur, we've talked about. King's Council. 3 anything, 2 threshold. Elite magic. And draw a card for each unique ally. This card has a place in this format.
It sure does.
I think the deck that I built has like 7 unique creatures in it. 7, 8, maybe. Maybe
yeah, it reminds me of Unlikely Alliance from Alpha Beta. Mm-hmm. And like, I'm willing to use Unlikely Alliance and have those different rarities on the board. Why not just have a card that does it the same way?
Yeah, for uniques.
Yeah, and I mean, some uniques are not expensive. Like Merlin here's 3. King Arthur's only 4. I'm sure there are other ones that are cheaper.
High Priestess or Highland, was it Highland Princess? Highland Princess is unique.
Yeah, so like this, I feel like this is an alright card.
Yeah, it's good for an elite. I mean, it's definitely gonna see some play, especially because you don't have a maximum hand size, right?
Right.
So if I play 3 or 4 knights or sirs, like I'm just gonna draw 4 cards with it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty alright. The tried and true magic missiles, 2 mana, which is insane. I can't remember how much Firebolt is. I want to say it's 3. Is it 3?
I think it's 2.
It's only 2? Okay.
Yeah.
So just it is a air version of that card essentially. Uh and like you said, if you any way you could give this lethal, it would be a fucking dangerous card.
hmm hmm That was just short and sweet. It's just a good card.
Yep.
Oh man, Merlin, Merlin, Merlin.
Merlin the god, the man of the myth
Three,
legend.
3 mana, 3 threshold, and 3 power. So it's already got solid stats. It is a spellcaster, and any time during your turn, Merlin may look at your next spell and may cast it if it's a magic spell. This screams it should have been an avatar.
Yeah.
I think this card should have been an avatar. Um, the ability to cast spells from the top of your deck is great, but with him only having 3 power and no way to protect himself, makes him so much harder to use. Also,
True.
he's unique.
I think the only reason they wouldn't have made him an avatar is because Seer basically does half of his thing, right?
Yeah, but it doesn't let you cast the spell.
True. I
Uh,
think
I
it's a
th-
pretty alright card.
I think it is a good card in and of itself. It it's hard to build around it in such a way because it is unique. So
Yeah. He's not a showstopper, but he's definitely like he has a use.
yeah, I'm gonna definitely be able to cast a magic missiles or two from the top of my deck in the time that I'm playing.
Yeah. And I like that it's any time during your turn. You can just what's that? So that's pretty good. So we got Ominous Owl, bro. 1/1/1. He's airborne, and you may cast minions to this site. I'm down with that.
Bro, that's Hedwig. What are you talking about?
Yeah, Hedwig. He's cracked out. He's got the letter. He said, "You're a wizard."
Bring your friends.
Yeah, for real. He's staring at me like he ate fucking 10 edibles, and he doesn't know where the fuck he is.
Did you hear what that rock said to me?
That bitch.
I'm gonna call my wolf friends and they're gonna show up where I'm at right now.
Yeah. As for someone like me, like using void creatures to cast in the void, just being able to put a threat somewhere that your enemy cannot ignore, this fits into my toolkit a lot.
Yeah,
I like
I
that.
think it's very good. Even being an ordinary, you can summon knights to that area. You can summon um, beasts or fairies or whatever, and they, giving them charge just allows them to swing immediately.
Yeah, I mean, like you could stick a Pudge Belcher on Pudge Butcher on the enemy side of your map.
Yeah,
It would be. It's just all right. I like that card.
yeah, it's a good card. I think Ominous Owl is a good card. Power of Flight, 2 and an air. Give an allied minion airborne until your next turn. Draw a spell.
I think if
So,
this did not let you draw a spell, it would be trash.
um, so you don't think that moving diagonal is worth 2 mana?
I think. I think it's good if it already has airborne, but just giving airborne for one turn, it's like
What
it could be good in a certain situation, but like Blink does the same thing, right?
Yeah, Blink does literally the same thing.
Yeah, this is literally Blink.
Well, no, actually it's not. Because Blink moves the creature, right?
Right.
So Power of Flight gives you the ability to
To
essentially
move.
blink. Yeah. Um, so it's
True.
not as good as Blink, but
Right.
Blink draws a card, right? Blink
Right.
does draw a card. So Blink is just a better card overall because I think
Right.
it is also wind, right?
Yeah, it's 2 mana. 2
Yeah,
mana, one
yeah,
threshold, draws a card, and you don't use your movement to use it.
yeah. I would have to say that this card is probably not going to see play as long as Blink is allowed to be in the format.
Yeah, I don't think that's good. That sucks. Purple Knight, not really anything to talk about, so I'll go ahead and hop over to this
Okay.
because this is basically what is it? Blue Knight is the same thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
except it's
Uh,
purple.
so Sheerwood Huntress, 2/2 for one threshold, 2 mana. In ordinary, it's got ranged. Very vanilla. I think ranged is a good uh, what would keyword.
Yeah.
So, but I noticed that when we were playing, range was it was still kind of hard to use. So in my mind, I think range is super good, but I don't think it's as good as my mind perceives it.
Um, I think it gives you the ability to stay out of reach, um, of some of the big creatures, right?
Yeah, which this needs to do because it is weak compared to other things.
Yeah. Yeah. Did we? I don't think we talked about Sir Balin yesterday, did we?
No, I don't think we did.
So Sir Balin is a 3/4 for 4, 2 fire and an air threshold, and it has lance, which is kind of common for it seems like all the knights, right? All the
That
Sirs.
shit was all the rage back then. Apparently,
Big sticks.
pointy stick, me kill.
Whenever Sir Balin strikes an avatar, destroy that avatar's site and then burrow other minions and artifacts there.
I remember reading this and I was like, this card is absolutely out of control.
Yeah, I agree with you. This card is definitely unique and it is definitely deserving of the title.
Yeah, this man is literally a god. He just blows land up by striking you, and that's kind of crazy.
Reminds me of what's it? Um oh, what was it from Thor? The thing that turned giant and destroyed Asgard.
Oh, I don't
I
know.
don't I don't remember. Can't remember the name. That's how relevant it was. But this card reminds me of that because it destroys a site, it destroys
It
everything
burrows everything
there.
on it.
Yeah.
If you are a poor sod, like since we have cards that give you charge, cards that give you movement, all things like teleport exist, uh, those things make this card basically it's inevitable for you to get slapped by this man.
It is a kind of a double-edged sword though too. Um because if the avatar is on one of your opponent's sites and your opponent goes, "Well, I'm just going to have to hit you with Sir Balin," or when I play the battle mage and I swing at Sir Balin on your land, like kind of says, "You remember that nuke you told us not to do anything about?"
True.
Well,
I suppose so, but like we were talking about with other cards, how they're primarily defenders. This would be good sitting around your avatar. This definitely, you would definitely want to send this man headlong into danger.
send him away. Get
Yeah,
him as far away from everything as you can.
true. And like, he also has 4 health, which is kind of beefy in this game.
Unless your opponent has lance, because sticks are things that do things.
True. So I read this in another one, but we'll go over it. Sir Boros, I think is how he pronounces the younger. He's a 4/2, a little weak on there. Requires a earth and 2 wind for 3 mana. A unique mortal with range 2. Enemies lose stealth. Range 2, that makes it, the health basically doesn't matter. Of course, you can get blasted from spells, which is probably going to be in your opponent's deck. But if you can get a spell out of the way, I mean, it's a spell out of the way.
Yeah, no, I think it's great. It reminds me of hey, what's your name?
Oh, hey, fuck you.
That's what it reminds me of.
Yeah,
Because you stand far enough away, but you still deal damage. You still threaten them.
yeah.
I think it's decent.
Yeah, I think he's all right. He's not insane, but I think he's playable.
He's definitely not Sir Galahad. That's for dang sure.
That's for damn sure.
Sir Galahad. Do we need to talk about him?
Yeah, we can talk about him.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh, 5 mana, 4 threshold. Is it air and earth? 2 air and 2 earth. 3/6. So you're not touching him with anything dangerous right now.
Yeah, he is beef E.
And he's pretty much gonna go in every battle mage deck ever from now on, ever. Um, his strikes heal you, which is the same thing as the vampire lady, and he has a little caveat that says, "I don't take damage from demon spirits or dead things."
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's gonna be gaining life for a lot of people for a long time.
Yeah, he's definitely kind of nuts. I think it's been spoiled or talked about how the next set is going to be angels and demons.
Oh,
So,
well, he's gonna be that much better.
yep. Yeah,
He's
he's pretty
he's
all
very
right.
good.
I don't even care about the 5 cost, bro. He's got
Yeah,
6 health and he fucking heals you.
I'm just gonna play him with 4 Waters of Paradise and not worry about it.
Yeah, for real. Talked about Sir Gareth. Think we haven't talked about Sir K. I did in another video, but whatever. Uh, Sir K, 4 cost, double fire, 1 wind, 1 earth with a 4 attack. Whenever he targets a weaker minion, he untaps. This is it's okay. Uh, it's more of a hit and run thing to me instead of I'm going to go for a second thing. I think you would definitely prefer to kill something, untap, and then get out of harm's way.
You think so?
Yeah, because unless there are several ones and you're just going to sit there and beat the shit out of someone, which in that case, yeah, fucking go for it. But I think with some of these things having decent attack on them in this set, he's definitely more hit and run.
Yeah. So he's. How do you feel about him with things like Screaming Skull and well, not necessarily Screaming Skull, but like the 7 Legion boots or 7 League boots?
Oh yeah, that would be pretty nuts, right? Because you
Yeah,
could hit and run from quite far away.
yeah. And then you could also use the Crown of the Victor to make him stronger.
Yeah, if you had any way to heal yourself, where he himself would stay healthy, or like make this person unkillable this turn or something like that, I think he would be quite strong.
Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
good.
I think he's good. There might be cards in the future to make him even better.
Yep, yep, yep. Sir Lamora. Let's see. 3 threshold, 4 cost, 4/3. Deathrite, strike each enemy nearby. That card. It screams martyr to me
Yeah,
because what I want to do is throw him in the middle of something and let him die.
right. You're basically encouraged to kill this man.
Yeah. I'm gonna run him in and swing at your biggest dude. Hope he dies because when he dies I get to hit your dude again.
Yeah,
So
I think he's good. It just sucks that to trigger him being good, he has to die.
yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it
but he's
is
also
right.
immortal.
Yeah, he would deal 8 damage to something that is large.
Yes.
So he is, and if there's anything nearby, you could potentially kill everything. So,
Yeah, and also Poison Dagger is a card.
oh, that's true. That is actually a really good point.
Build your own Poison Nova.
Yeah, I
Except it
like
does a
that.
lot of damage.
Yeah. I feel like in the right circumstances, actually OP. It's just it sucks that you have to throw him away. He's the only guy. I mean, if you wanted to dame him, but I think there's better things to dame.
Oh
So,
yeah, yeah, definitely. We talked about those yesterday.
yeah. We talked about Peleus yesterday. This
Yep.
card, dude. One, I love this art. Justy is probably one of my favorite artists in sorcery. I just dig his art style, and he did so goddamn good on the. I think it's a dragon, maybe dragon lizard. It has fucking hooves and antlers. I don't know what the hell this is, but
Basilisk, maybe?
I love it. This is just good. I love his detail. He's so good. I fucking love it.
Yeah,
It
that's really good art.
6 mana, double air, double fire, 5/3. So he's a little weak here, but he is a unique mortal. Charge and lance. So he's a 6/3. And whenever he kills the strongest enemy minion, you get to draw a card. I like this card.
I like it too,
This
even though it's a
screams
bit
big dick
expensive.
energy.
It seems like there's a lot of cards coming out that want to allow you to draw cards.
Yeah. Drawing a
Um,
card is always good. He has charge, and it's just like he's
yeah,
expensive. He might die, dude, but like this is a power move.
it is. It is an ambush tactic too.
Yeah.
So he comes in, he swings for 6 at first. Like Lance breaks after you use it, right?
Right.
So he's good. He's good. I think that anything with double the power, like anything with 6 power per 6 mana that can swing as soon as it comes out and potentially draw you a card is pretty good.
You could also give him Gilded Aegis, so he could survive.
Yeah, he could survive once.
So I like this card. Its health is lackluster, but I don't give a shit, dude.
uh, is it Parsival?
Percival.
Oh, I don't think we talked about this one the other day or
Nope.
yesterday. Unique Mortal is a 4 cost, 3 threshold, 4/5. So those are really good stats.
Yeah.
Um, Genesis, an opponent chooses a site. When Sir Percival enters that site, draw a card, then reactivate his Genesis ability. So again, with the card draw theme, your opponent is basically he's a questing creature, right? So he's
Right.
your opponent's going to send them across the board every single time. So you have to jump through hoops to draw extra cards, but if you make it to those extra cards, it's pretty good.
Yeah,
Um,
drawing cards always good, and I feel like this puts pressure on your opponent in a unique way, and you could easily for double prong start moving him toward this way, but start moving something the other way, and make your opponent choose.
yeah, yeah. I think that for flavor wise, this card is amazing. It's
Yeah,
great because he's always looking for adventures, so your opponent is never going to let you pick the next site to you, right? So it's
right.
probably going to be four corners or you know
Yeah, I
somewhere in the
dig.
middle.
I dig the art as well. Him getting one extra health than what he cost. I think this is a pretty good card.
Yeah, I think it's pretty good.
We talked about these two. Ooh, I don't even think I've seen this.
Oh yeah, I told you we were going to talk about this one.
So 2 mana, 1 air threshold, Sisters of Avalon, 1 cost. It is or 1 attack. It's an exceptional mortal. Spellcasters, Genesis, discard a spell, draw the spell.
What do you think?
Uh, when we first started playing Magic together, and you put Cathartic Reunion in my deck, instantly loved that card. This is the same thing to me.
So, do you remember? I seem to remember the first time we went to an FNM, you played a Reanimator deck,
Yeah, with the
the Cathartic Reunion and the Gear Hulks
Gear
and
Hulks. Yeah,
yeah. So, imagine this with Immortal.
yeah,
And that card I told you we would talk a lot about because I think it's probably the best card in this set,
yeah.
and I stand by it.
Also, if you're playing this with Death Speaker, you could intentionally do something and still use those things later on.
Yes, yes, you could.
Anything where I can utilize my cemetery, and if I have to pay something to get something, I don't know what it is. I like those sorts of things. Oh, now I get. Oh, you get to read my fucking card. Go ahead.
There. Yeah, you go ahead and read it. You go ahead and read it. It's okay. I know you like
Fucking
this
2 mana, one threshold tactical move, bro. Ordinary. One at a time, each ally gets to take up 2 steps. Who the fuck thought this was okay to put in as 2 mana, one threshold, and it's an ordinary, bro? This card is insane.
We all flying now.
I fucking love this card.
Yeah, that card's really good.
This card is ridiculous.
You know, it says ordinary magic to reposition your troops, but it doesn't say anything about ordinary magic to make all of your troops converge on your opponent and wish they were never born.
For real, dude. Like, just 2 movement, like, and I don't think it taps you either, right? So this would not tap your guys. This card is fucking crazy.
It's good. It's very good.
This is an insane card. I cannot believe this card exists. I love that card.
The Black Plague. Unique aura, 4 costs, 2 threshold. So already the first thing that comes to mind is Enchantress because, you know, aura.
True.
At the end of your turn, the weakest minion occupying affected sites dies. If tied, choose one. This spell if none die. This card is reminiscent of the Abyss for Magic.
Yeah.
The cool thing about the Abyss was that if there were no creatures in play, it destroyed itself. And this is essentially literally the Abyss. With the Enchantress in play, it allows you to move the Black Plague.
Yeah, it's literally a all-swallowing storm that is approaching.
And as long as you have a minion of like 1 power or whatever in one of those affected sites, you're going to be able to just kill the weaker minions and keep the Black Plague alive.
Yeah, and walk it around, and this is pretty good.
It is unique. It deserves to be unique. I think this is a good card.
The Fairy Queen. This is hilarious. Louis opened up one in foil, and the first thing I read after he opened that up, someone fucking said fappable. And I was just like, okay, dude. So 4 mana, 2 threshold, 3 stats. It's a unique fairy, airborne, and it's a spellcaster. Nearby allied fairies take no damage from units with 4 or more power. I feel like this card needs to be in your deck. If you want to go a fairy deck, this card is in that deck.
I would disagree.
You don't think so?
I mean, I don't think so. It's a fairy, so yeah, I mean it has that, but how many creatures with power 4 or more do you normally play?
I mean, it's true. Not everything is super duper strong. Like this man might actually eat fairies alive.
Oh yeah, definitely.
But there are plenty with 4. We'll put a pin in it, and we'll see if this card becomes extremely useful or not. Besides that, the art is pretty cool.
I do like the art.
A lot going on.
I think the card itself, like things taking no damage from power 4 or more, typically your fairies are only going to have 1 or 2 powers, so you're not going to send a 4 power thing after them.
Sure.
Now the exception to that would be like the vampire, or what was it? Was it Galahad? Lancelot? Galahad? No. The life gain one.
How do you feel about this being next to that fairy that takes 1 less damage?
That might make it a little better.
I think it also, since it's an airborne spellcaster, and you get that diagonal movement, spells could be cast from it, and it could be dangerous just in that way.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with the ability to spellcast it airborne, like, and then prevent it from taking damage from big things. I guess in a sense, you have to kill her with something that will die because you can't kill her with anything stronger than her.
Yeah. True.
Um, and then, well, to be fair, this card with the first aura that we looked at tonight would be amazing.
Which one was that?
The the mortals are disabled and each fairy gives +1.
Oh,
So you make all your fairies 4 power and they can't die.
that's true. I think I think this card has potential. I don't know if it's a great card. I think you can do some shit with it though.
Yeah.
Did you read that? Okay, this is your turn.
The Ninth Legion. 6 mana for a 6 power. 3 threshold. Was it spirit? That's a spirit. So it doesn't take what's his name? Galahad. I think it's Galahad, right? I want to
Yeah,
say it's
here's the
Galahad.
6.
Galahad, yeah. He doesn't take damage from spirits, undead, or demons.
True.
So Void Walk must be cast to a corner and Deathrite is returned to hand. So it will never die.
I'm
You will
all about
always
that.
you always have a 6/6. 6 power.
Yeah.
And it can go wherever you want it to go. No matter what, because of Void Walk.
Do you think oh yeah, it does have void walk, so you could cast it in a corner. But if an enemy had it in the corner, you couldn't cast it there, right? Had a
Uh
site in the corner? Because it
uh
doesn't say can be cast at any corner. It just says must be cast in a corner.
um I think it would have to be a corner that was either not occupied
Or
or
with your side in it.
with your stuff, yeah.
Yeah. So that kind of knocks it down a peg in my mind, but the fact that it never dies, basically, uh, if we're gonna say this is good, then this
Yeah.
has to be good.
We have to say that that's pretty good too.
Yeah, I
Because
like that.
I agree. I agree. Because six for six is good
Yeah,
in any situation where you just keep recasting it and keep
yeah,
telling me that I have to deal with it every turn.
yeah. If when we get even stats and then it has fucking several abilities, I don't give a shit about this caveat. That's not a problem. Look, this is one of my favorite arts in the entire game. Again, it's Jesse. Of course, it is. The way he uses green, bro. Like I'm not even a green person, but he fucking pops off with the color green. It's in Poison Nova. Highlight and Ghost Ship. He uses green and he does it well. I don't know how he does it, but I love it. 6 mana, 3 win threshold. The Wild Hunt. It's a 5 cost. It is spirits and fairies, so it has 2 archetypes, which is interesting.
Hmm.
It's airborne and other spirits and fairies have charge. I like this
Yeah,
card.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that the Queen of the Fairies is looking a little better now. Looking a little better.
Yeah, there is a lot of fairy support in this set, and
Yeah, yeah,
even if this wasn't a good card, the art is incredible.
yeah. It's a good card. I think it's a good card. Giving spirits and fairies charge just it spells disaster for anybody who is not prepared for it.
For sure, for sure. And a lot of fairies are cheap, so I mean, you can just be like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to play this, boom, pop.
Thundering Giant. 6 cost, 2 threshold, 4 power. So a little bit lackluster there.
Yeah,
But it does have charge. It is a giant. And once during your turn, it may teleport to another nearby location and tap all units there on arrival. So that is pretty good. I think
yeah,
that is pretty good. Because you can cast it and then you can teleport it.
yeah. That is true, right? Because it doesn't say when either.
Yeah.
So like, you can cast, immediately teleport, it disables whatever, and then it gets to swing.
Yeah. Yeah. So you cast, teleport, tap your dudes, kill the dude that is causing problems.
Yeah, I like that. It might be 4, but I don't. I saw Louis open 100 of these. It basically felt like. I don't know if it's the color scheme or whatever, but I dig the art. I like the blue. Uh, it just feels good.
Yeah.
It's kind
It
of
looks good.
loaded. I think making its attack lower was a good choice considering how good this effect is.
Yeah.
All right, the fucking nightmare fueled Drew Tucker himself. Tooth Fairies, it's a 2 mana, 2 power, 1 threshold. It has airborne, and at the start of your turn, tap target nearby enemy. Uh, a cheap way to hold people off, and it's maneuverable. Pretty good
Pretty
card.
good.
And its art is terrifying.
This is the same artist that did the Giant previously.
Really? He also did this? Drew Tucker is so versatile because he generally, like, I've seen him make these ugly things that scare me. And then, like, I wouldn't have guessed that this was Drew Tucker, to be honest with you. He's pretty versatile in his art style.
Yeah. Unseelie Quartz. This is the card I was telling you about yesterday.
Yeah.
6 cost, 2 threshold, 5 power. Malevolent form of fairy elite. Again, that name fairy there. At the start of your turn, players discard a spell for each fairy in the realm. This card I would play over the one that lets you draw makes everybody draw the cards.
Right.
Because if you don't have cards, I ain't got to worry about you playing cards.
True. This with Death Speaker, you wouldn't really care about the discarding. With Sorcerer, you basically don't care because you can draw at any time. There are cards to draw. Discarding is a good function to me.
Yeah, it's very powerful in a 1v1
Look at this
format.
ugly ass dog, though. That scares me.
Are you sure it's not a goat?
I don't know, man. Fucking. Can we get in there?
Oh, that's a dog. That's
That,
is it a dog? That's a dog.
that's a dog.
Chupacabra.
I have no idea what the hell this is.
It's a bird maiden, bro. What do you what do
And
you
then,
think?
okay, I don't even know why I'm pointing out these dudes. What is this thing?
The tree thing?
Fucking mummy wearing a mask?
It's Halloween, bro. They're all dressing up.
For real. What the fuck? Oh, we zoomed in a bit much.
Oh, what did you do?
Zooming
I can't
in
believe you
and
done
out.
this.
I know. Vanishment. Never heard that word in my life. 3 mana, 2 threshold, exceptional magic, leaves no trace. Give all allied minions stealth and draw a spell. I like drawing. Stealth is good. It's decently cheap. Play this side by side with tactical move. I think it's all right.
I think it's good for another reason.
Why?
So I'm just gonna give you a little bit of hint about the deck I'm working on. The deck that I'm working on has a lot of minions that don't want to die in it.
Oh, okay.
So when they have stealth,
True.
my opponents can't target them.
Queen Guinevere
Yeah,
would benefit greatly from being stealthed.
yeah. So Queen Guinevere's in the deck. What is it? The one that gives all of it has the abilities of all the avatars,
True.
and then the thing that makes copies of minions. So like me having 4 witches that can't be targeted. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like this card. Seems simple on level, but it has dangerous implications if played.
Weightless Squire. 3 cost, 1 threshold, 1 power, airborne, and lands.
I don't like this card.
I don't like this card. This card reminds me of Stormcrow, which is bad.
Yeah. 3 mana. I don't give a shit if it has a lance, bro. After it attacks once, it's probably gonna die because it's a 1 health. Yeah, I
I'm
don't.
not playing this card.
Yeah,
If I get a choice, I'm not playing this card.
for real. I don't like that card at all. I've never seen this card. 2 mana, 1 threshold, whirlwind, exceptional magic. Choose clockwise or counterclockwise. Each unit and artifact at top sides in a 2x2 area are pushed 1 step in that direction. So it's a harmless earthquake, but anything that allows me to reposition anything, including enemies, I think is a positive.
I think this is a very good card, and I think there's one thing that you did not remember about this card versus Earthquake.
Can you throw things in the void with this?
Yes.
Hmm. Hmm.
Oh, well, atop sights. No, atop sights.
Oh,
But Earthquake is 5 mana.
true. This is only two.
This is only 2.
What's inside this? What the fuck is this? It's just like a balcony?
Looks like a castle.
Nice. Yeah, I dig this card.
I
This
think
is
it's pretty good.
a
I
very
think it's good.
usable card. White Knight.
We didn't talk about this one yesterday,
Right.
but it is well, I mean we did talk about it, but it was along with the Black Knight because it's literally the exact opposite of the Black Knight. So this is a come from behind card, whereas the Black Knight is a win more card.
Yeah.
This is usually if you're playing it, you're probably going to take a hit or two from your opponent just so you can play it for 3 mana. Um, it's decent.
If you're scared of Battle Mage, put this in your deck.
Yeah, I think that's probably gonna. Yeah. Then again, is the Battle Mage just run around it and not care?
True. But I have a 3/5/9 on the board, and that makes me happy.
Yeah.
Uh, and I mean, like, you can always heal health, right? So you could take that hit, get this out for cheap. You, Sir Galahad, and get that health back. I think it's the stats are good. 5 is a lot in this game. So yeah, I think it's better than average, but not terrific.
Which one do you think better? Which one do you think is better? The White Knight or the Black
100% the Black Knight because black is metal, one.
Knight?
And if I'm playing a game, I'm fucking winning it, bro.
What happens when my White Knight blocks your Black Knight?
Then I guess they just fucking hit heads. And they're just like, oh, we can't kill each other. Oh, fuck.
No, they do kill each other.
Oh, is he 5/3?
Yeah, he's a 5/3.
Ah,
Black Knight is a 5/3. This is like I said, it's the exact opposite.
I didn't realize the stats are swapped.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I still like it. I like both of them, to be honest with you.
I think that like I said, I think the Black Knight is more for a win more strategy, and the White Knight is more for like you said, a defensive strategy.
Yeah, and there's easy ways to like. I mean, if the horse we were talking about, like if you played him turn 2, ran up, hit his land, made him 19, you're 20. Next turn, play a Black Knight. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty
Yeah.
alright.
Yeah. I think wind is a pretty powerful element in this game.
Oh
I
yeah.
think it always historically has been. It's had the vampire, it's had the I think it has the Lord of the Dead, right? In the alpha and beta. Just returns
Talking about
all
Lord of the
your
Void.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
returns all of your void walk minions.
Are you talking about Ultimate Horror? No. Because Lord of the Void is the one that banishes sights.
Oh, okay, no, I'm talking about the other one. The one
Ultimate Horror, the one that brings back spirits and shit.
yeah, it brings back all of your void walk minions.
Yeah.
And then Lord of the Dead, or no, not Lord of the Dead, the Grim Reaper. Grim Reaper's also wind.
Yeah. Yeah, wind is good. I like wind. Or air, I think is what it's actually called. But
Yeah.
I guess that does it for air. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this recording off.